بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our broadcast. We are Lahori Ahmadis, and we and Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian, who was the founder of this organization, this group, believed that the Holy Prophet Muhammad is the last prophet, and no prophet, old or new, shall come after. End of story. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib's claim was what Hazrat Maulana Nuruddin approved as the inscription to be placed on Hazrat Sahib's tombstone. And it read, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, landlord of Qadian, Mujaddid of the 14th century, the promised Messiah, and Bhakti. This was approved by Hazrat Maulana's signature, and it remained there, and the whole Jamaat accepted it, and this was the unanimous belief of the Ahmadi community. We and Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad also believe that no verse is missing from the Holy Quran, as Ahl Sunnat wal Jamaat and others, and Ahl Tashih believe. We also believe that no verse of the Quran is abrogated, as our other friends believe. The Quran is complete and perfect. Nothing is left out, nothing is abrogated. And also that in the words of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, if one reciter of the Kalima says to another reciter of the Kalima, you are a kafir or heretic or non-Muslim, then it is the caller. It is the caller who is the heretic. Because God has not given anyone the right to decide people's beliefs and faiths. We are discussing the Holy Quran verse by verse, even sometimes word by word. So yesterday we started with the verse 48 of the second chapter of the Holy Quran, which is Al-Baqarah, but we only got as far as the first part of it. And this reads, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم واتقوا يوما لا تجزي نفس عن نفس شيئا ولا يقبل منها شفاعة ولا يؤخذ منها عدل ولا هم ينصرون. And its English translation is, and guard yourselves against a day when no soul will avail another in the least. So we got as far as that while discussing this verse yesterday. It then carries on, neither will intercession be accepted on its behalf, nor will compensation be taken. Nor will compensation be taken from it, nor will they be helped. The first word I want to look at is, in a way, easy, and that is wala yuk balu, and its root is qaf ba lam, and it simply means to accept or take or admit. So the translation is, and voila, and no, nothing will be admitted. Minha shafa'atum. Shafa'atum, its root is sheen fa ain, and according to Imam Raghib, it means to bring or mix two things together. And this is why here it's translated as intercession. Or in Urdu, it's called sifarish, putting in a good word for someone else, mediating for someone. So all of these mean this. So this part is saying that no one will be able to put in a good word for you, mediate on your behalf. This is what we do is, in a way, when you apply for a job, you give references and someone writes a reference for you. He's a good lad, he works hard, etc. Give him a job. But on that day, your reference will not be accepted. And then we come to the next part, which says, وَلَا يُؤْخَذُ مِنْهَا عَدْلٌ. Now here I want you to consider the word adl, and its root is ayn dal lam. And it means to balance out. It also means recompense. But it basically means balance out. For example, the word Ibn Faris says the word fidya also. It's included in adl. Why? Because, for example, if you miss out any days during Ramadan, then you give fidya. You balance out your mistake by an extra act of charity. You make the thing equal. You balance it out. So, and the next word is that I want to have a look at is yunfarun. Yunfarun, its root is noon fad ra, and its basic meaning is to water the land so that it produces a good crop. When you cultivate it, it produces a good crop. Now, when you water the land, water helps produce a good crop. So this is why this word is used for help as well. For example, we say, Allah mansur man nasara dina Muhammad. So some people translate that as give religion of Muhammad victory. Others translate it as help the religion of Muhammad. And that comes from the word used there is that. So that we are asking for God's help. I'm giving you the basic meanings and the roots and so on, so that if you want to do research, you can go and look these things up yourself. Now we go back to the concept of shafa'atun or shafa'a, if you take the root, and the statement here: neither will intercession be accepted on its behalf. But elsewhere in the Holy Quran, it says that people will be allowed to intercede with God's permission. So, on the face of it, it would seem that there is a contradiction. Here it's saying intercession is not allowed, and then in the other place it says, with God's permission, you'll be allowed to do that. What people forget is that in Islam, the concept of reward and punishment is not that this will all happen someday in the distant future. This is a continuing process. It starts with this life. It starts every time you do something good or every time you do something wrong. So if you do a good job, there's some project and you complete it ahead of the target that is set to you. And if the boss said, oh, that's very good, but wait, we'll wait until you are leaving our employment, and then we'll see if we can reward you for that. How would you feel? You'll feel upset. I've done it now, and they're asking me to wait, and so on. There are some things in English law which are very close to what Islam says about law. For example, justice should not only be done, but seem to be done. That's one thing. So, because reward and punishment starts in this world, there may be people, for example, someone becomes a Muslim, and before embracing Islam, he was doing things which are forbidden by Islam. Now, God knows this, and he could say, okay, you, fine, go into Jannah, so to speak. And the other people are standing there wondering, why? As I said, justice should not only be done, but seem to be done. People should know. People are not going to lose their senses and so on in the so-called hereafter, because the Holy Quran says that some people will see others with some light and they'll say, can we borrow some? Or if we are sent back, then we'll be good. And God says, no, you won't. You'll be exactly the same. So people will have this ability that is inherent to human beings, which other creation of God does not have. So God will want other people to see that this man, yes, he did wrong. But then, and this happens in British courts, he showed no remorse. So we're going to throw the book at him. But he's really sorry. He is showing remorse. And one thing they do is, there is a department called probation. They asked the probation service to write a report on this guy. Is he really remorseful? What kind of punishment do you think we should give him? If it's a lighter sentence, why should it be a lighter sentence? So if it's a heavy sentence, why should it be a heavy sentence? So that is the concept of shifat in Islam. But generally Muslims believe, well, what will happen is that, all the sinful Muslims will be there, and the Holy Prophet Muhammad will say, I'm not going to go to heaven until the whole of my ummah is forgiven and allowed into heaven, and so on. And God will say, oh, all right, then I'll allow all of them into heaven. I mean, this is, like you taking your kid to the shopping center or shopping mall, and the kid saying, I want that, and you saying no, and the kid sort of saying, no, I want it, and eventually you give in and you say, oh, okay, then go on, have it. That is the concept that is put forward by Muslims for shafat. That is not the concept. The concept is that just like that probation service needs to step up and with judge's permission say, he is remorseful, we don't think he'll do it again, there's no point in sending him to jail, etc., etc. In the same way, the person who'll step forward to give an explanation about why someone's sentence should be lighter or someone should not be sentenced at all would be the Prophet sent for those people. And it will then be up to God to decide. But the point is this: whatever God's decision, everyone else will know why that decision was taken. And that is an important thing to remember, that justice should not only be done, but seen to be done. Seen to be done. And if God, if a prophet stepped forward and God said, okay, your ummah is forgiven, no one is given any explanation or anything, then people will think, what's going on? Why am I being punished and he is not being punished? He got drunk and ran over someone. I got drunk and ran over someone. We're talking about two non-Muslims. For some reason, he's forgiven, I'm not forgiven. Why? This is not balancing the thing. This is not adl. This is not equaling things. So, prophets, particularly the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he steps forward, he will explain so that everyone can hear why the sentence on this person should be light. And with that, we come to an end with our broadcast for today. Tomorrow is Friday, so there's no 7 p.m. broadcast, but we will have our Friday service broadcast at 1 p.m. UK time. With the prayer that whoever you are, wherever you are, may Allah keeps the whole of humanity under his protection and free from harm. I take my leave of you. Assalamu alaikum, Khuda Hafiz, and goodbye.